Reddit fresh. Am I the idiot for giving away my sister's dog without her permission? A few months ago, my sister, let's call her Sarah, asked if I could look after her dog for a couple of weeks while she went on a vacation. I agreed, and she dropped off her adorable little Chihuahua Gizmo at my place. The weeks turned into months, and Sarah never came back for Gizmo. I called her a few times, but she always had an excuse for why she couldn't pick him up yet. Meanwhile, Gizmo had become attached to me and my family, and we had grown quite fond of him. Fast forward to last week, and I got a call from a friend who had just lost his own dog. He asked if I knew anyone who had a dog that needed a home, and I mentioned Gizmo. My friend met Gizmo and fell in love with him right away, so I decided to give it to him. Now, Sarah has found out that I gave Gizmo away, and she's absolutely livid. She's calling me a thief and a horrible sister for giving away her dog without her permission. Sarah is known for being unreliable and flaky, and she's done this before with other things, and she would refuse to pick them up. I didn't want to be stuck with Gizmo forever, and I thought it was better to give him to someone who would love and care for him properly. Trust me, I know my sis. She wouldn't have ever come back for him. He was neglected, but now I'm not sure if I did the right thing. Was it really my place to give away Sarah's dog without her permission? Am I the idiot? Everyone sucks here. You should have said to her that you're giving the dog away in a few days, if she doesn't come and get him, just to give her some warning. I understand the situation you're in, and that you think your sister would have never come for the dog, but he was never your dog to give away. Everyone sucks here. While your sister is a major AH for throwing her dog to you and going AWOL, you should have at least given your sister a heads up, for example. Hey, it's been X months, and you are neglecting your dog. If you are not collecting him by this date, I'm giving him to my friend. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for starting my truck? I work a normal day shift, 7 to 4, and each morning, as it has been below freezing, I remotely start my truck from inside the house to let it warm up before I drive to work. Apparently, my neighbor, from the complaining I have heard through the window, works second shift, and the sound of my truck warming up awakens him every morning. He has complained very impolitely about this twice now. I have never met him, and do not know him as I just moved in about 6 months ago. My truck does have an aftermarket exhaust on it, but I wouldn't consider it loud. This is the first time anyone has ever complained about it. So, am I an idiot for starting my truck in the morning and ignoring his complaining? Update. To answer some of the info requests. I installed the exhaust because the original needed to be replaced. It is more durable and better made than the stock exhaust for about the same price. My truck is not a diesel, it is a V6. It is turbocharged, and from my understanding, it is helpful for longevity to warm those up in cold temperatures. I live in the Midwest, so cold temps are anywhere from single digits to female 32 degree. Once they are above freezing, I don't use the remote start. As far as the noise level itself, my truck has a quiet start option which is enabled. This keeps the engine at idle speed instead of revving loudly when the remote start is activated. When I looked for a replacement exhaust, I actively tried to avoid excessively loud ones. On a V6, they sounded like crap, and I didn't want to be obnoxiously loud. Edit. Link below is the actual sound of the exhaust. I had a video of it. You're the idiot. Aftermarket exhaust makes me think OP might be one of those idiots who thinks that a loud engine makes him cool. Edit. Now that I've heard it, you're the idiot. That is super freaking loud and you just don't care because you think it makes you look badass or some poop. You're the idiot for putting an aftermarket exhaust on your truck to make it louder, then pretending you don't know why your neighbor is bothered by the noise. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for only wanting vegetarian food for my wedding even though my fiancé loves meat? I, female 22, and my fiancé, male 24, are getting married later this year. We come from different cultural backgrounds. He is a white American Christian and I am South Indian Hindu. We are combining aspects of both our cultures for the wedding and having 2 ceremonies on the same day with a reception dinner. My fiancé loves meat and I do too, but South Indian Hindu weddings need to fall on auspicious days and meat is a big no-no. My fiancé thinks our non-Indian guests who are not familiar with the culture will think we are being cheap by doing vegetarian food and not having alcohol. He's okay with no alcohol, though. I disagree since our food will be very nice. Traditional South Indian wedding meals have a huge array of dishes that are served endlessly on a banana leaf plate, and we will have Western desserts following the dinner. My fiancé and his parents, brother all enjoy vegetarian Indian food, so I'm not sure what the problem is. My fiancé thinks we should also include non-vegetarian Indian food, but that would offend my entire family and plainly be sacrilegious. My family eats meat, but like Catholics on Lent Fridays, we don't eat meat on auspicious days like weddings. Am I the idiot for insisting on vegetarian food? Also, any ideas on compromises to suggest? Edit. I spoke with my fiancé as well as his parents, and we decided that it would be best to have vegetarian American options available in addition to the Indian food. And I mentioned this in the comments already, but just to reiterate, his family asked for no alcohol first. His parents convinced him that not having meat won't make us look cheap, especially since we are going all out with florals and desserts and entertainment. Edit 2. I am currently speaking with the owner of our venue and seeing if we can have the venue for 2 days instead of just 1. He's a family friend and will prioritize giving us a reservation if at all possible. If we can have 2 days, then none of this stuff will be an issue and we can have meat, not beef though, and my family would be fine paying for it on the Christian ceremony day. Edit 3. Since many people want to call me out for saying my instead of our wedding, let me explain the reasoning behind my choice of pronoun. I am speaking to you, this subreddit, and that is why I say my and not our, of course. If I am in the company of my fiancé, I would say ours. My correct grammar does not have a hidden subconscious meaning. You're the idiot. This wedding is about both of you. Both of your cultures should be respected. He wants meat to be served for his guests, so that should be respected. He made a concession by having a dry wedding. You should be able to yield some as well. If you are this worried about having Western culture at your wedding, are you sure you want to be married in Western culture? You trying to erase his needs is not how you begin a marriage. No idiots here. I would just have 2 buffets, one with traditional American fare. Have both the buffets on opposite sides and let people decide. When there are auspicious days, South Indians don't stop others from eating meat. Like in the workplace, etc., they just don't do it themselves. It is that simple. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for selling the house my brother and his family live in? A few years ago, my brother needed help. I let him move into one of my rental properties and we did it all legal. Lease agreement and everything. Because I was renting to him at a break-even point, we agreed that he was responsible for all the maintenance of the house and yard. Well, he has 4 kids. And the hot water tank isn't enough for his family, and he wants a new one. I told him to go ahead. He then proceeded to take the cost of the hot water tank and installation of that month's rent. I reminded him of our agreement. He said he wasn't making improvements to my property for free. I said that the old hot water tank was fine, and he made the decision to replace it. Big argument, and I didn't want to fight. So I said that he was not allowed to make any further changes to the house without my explicit agreement. So he stopped doing maintenance as a protest. The house itself is not pretty, but it is solid. It is old, and the wiring in it was not meant for all the modern electronics we have. He wanted to add a new breaker box and run more outlets. I said no thanks. I cannot afford that since I'm not making any money on the house. He started getting bitchy about it and the rent started getting paid late. I tried talking to him, but he said that he had to buy some stuff for the house and he was low on cash. So I sold the house. While the house itself isn't great, it is in an older part of the city, and the property itself is 1/4 of an acre. Every time a house sells in the neighborhood, it is snapped up by developers and tuned into multifamily units. Or one guy built a McMansion on his land. I know a lot of the developers, and I didn't even need to list the house to have it sold in less than a week. My brother found out when he was served with an eviction notice. He called me to ask WTF. So I told him that the house was causing me headaches, and I had an opportunity to make some money, and I took it. He said I should have offered him a chance to buy it. I said that he was having trouble making rent. How was he going to qualify for a mortgage? He said I'm an idiot, and that he has the money he was waiting to make me an offer. I asked him if he had money, why he was late on his rent. He started bad-mouthing me to all our family. A few of them took his side and tried to say I was being an idiot. So I offered all of them a chance to clear his debt to me if they wanted to share their opinion. None of them took me up on the offer. My parents are on my side, and they said I shouldn't have rented to him in the first place. I feel bad for my sister-in-law and the kids, but I'm not going to spend the rest of my life subsidizing him. You're the idiot. For not giving him a heads up, yeah, he's in a hole too for trying to stiff you on rent, but holy poop, why would you not tell your brother they're about to be homeless? Not the idiot. Why should you lose money to help him out? It was good of you torment to him at a discount and he crapped on you for your hospitality. You can feel bad for your sister-in-law and nibbling, but they are not your responsibility. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for not helping my sister watch my nephew during a flight delay? Ray, female 25, and I, female 23, grew up in NYC. Our parents own a vacation home. When I moved out, they decided to move there permanently. They've only been back once, so I recently decided to visit them. Mom and Ray were talking, and my plans came up. She called and asked why I didn't tell her I was planning to go to Cali. I said it had nothing to do with her, so why would I have to tell her anything? She said it made no sense for us to do separate trips, when we could just go together. I said she's acting extremely entitled to something she had no parts in, and I'm not obligated to include her in every plan I make. She said she just wants our parents to meet her son. I said he's like 5 months old. You had plenty of time to take him if it was important. Then she cried to Mom. Ma said it was a good idea. I said if Ray cared so much, she would have planned to see them on her own. She told me she really needs this. I told Ray if she comes she can't ask me for poop. I'm not helping with her kid act like I'm not even there. She agreed. The day came and our connecting flight was delayed, so we had to stay the night. I was trying to fall asleep. She asked me if I was really going to sleep. I was annoyed. I said, if you leave me TF alone. Later, she asked me to watch the baby. I said just hold him and go to sleep. She was scared someone would snatch him while she slept. I said she sounds FKN crazy and no one wants her kid. She said she was exhausted and had been drinking energy drinks all night, but she was crashing and tried to put him in my arms again. I said, this is exactly why you should have just stayed at home. I told you from the jump I'm not doing poop. You already forced your way here, now you're just gonna have to figure it out. She said, seriously? I'm FK and exhausted, I can barely even keep my eyes open. I said, then go to sleep, and closed my eyes. She knew what the terms were. We made it there, but later Mom asked if she really raised me to be so cold towards my sister. She told me she had broken down and had a mental meltdown. I said I love my sister, but she should grow up and stop being so dramatic about a situation she put herself in. She said it wouldn't have hurt to help her even just a little. I told her I didn't help her make the baby, and she should have known something could go wrong when traveling. We got back a week ago and haven't spoken to each other at all, but she texted me today how hurt she was, and she feels like I don't care about her or my nephew at all. I told her she knew what she was getting into when she begged to come and imposed it on my trip. She said she thought I would have changed my mind when I realized we would have to sleep in the airport and that she would have done it for me. I said, your kid, you're responsible. I might be willing to just apologize to shut her up if people say I'm AH. Everyone sucks here. Your sister did sound a bit entitled, but fricking hell you sound like an absolute peach. There are several ways to handle the poop life throws at you. You chose poorly. You're the idiot. I can't imagine having this level of hate and vindictiveness for anyone, let alone my sister. Delayed flights and sleep deprivation are exceptional circumstances. She didn't ask you to hold the baby while she got a latte. She was literally awake for 24+ hours and worried about her medical health / the baby's safety. You can't just sleep with the baby on the floor in the airport. If I was your sister, I would never talk to you again. I get some people hate kids, but like damn. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for missing my birthday party? My parents are divorced and they take turns throwing me a birthday party each year. This year it was my mom's turn to throw me a party. However, my mom's parties are always so lame and this was my 16th party, so I wanted something cool. My mom always invites her family who have a bunch of little kids that I don't like, and she won't even get my favorite cake because it's peanut butter cake, and my brother is severely allergic to peanut butter, and she gives me some crappy cheap gift and get food from some cheap awful restaurant, or even worse, cooks herself. So this year I told her I want to spend my birthday with my dad, but she insisted on throwing me a party, and no matter what I said, she wouldn't accept not to throw a party, so I was like, fine, whatever. I told my dad to throw me a party, and it was awesome until my mom called crying. telling me how much I embarrassed her by not showing up to the party she threw, and everyone at the party saw the pictures I posted on Instagram from my dad's party. Now my mom's extended family all think I'm an idiot. Not the idiot. It's pretty obvious people who are calling you TA didn't read. You communicated that you didn't want your mom to throw you a party. You said you wanted your dad to. You even state that your birthdays are more family gathering events for your mom and not really about you. So at 16, I want this one to be what you want. You're not TA at all. And this thread is showing who has some hurt feelings, not the idiot. OP turned 16, which is a significant milestone birthday for many. OP just wanted a birthday for once that was truly about her for this one day. Mom hasn't been listening or communicating with OP in a meaningful way regarding her birthdays. OP is a teenager rapidly approaching adulthood who is still being treated like a child by her mom. If mom can't provide for OP on her birthday, then mom should stop playing the victim. Don't do something for others when you know it's not what they want, and then have the gall to say they don't appreciate what you've done. That is manipulative behavior. I understand that mom may have other priorities, but for this one birthday, she could have prioritized OP. Dad was listening and willing to make OP's birthday the event she hoped for.